Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here to talk about something that has nothing to do with phones, but started with phones. And I think that we can all blame Apple for this because it started off with those guys telling us that there were too many chargers out in the world, so they were going to quit including the power brick with their phone, but then they upped the charging power and decided to sell you a different charging accessory to make up for the one that they're not including in the box. So kind of interesting how they did that, and then everyone else followed suit. Samsung followed suit, Google followed suit, pretty much everybody. There's very few companies that actually give you a charger anymore, but this is a very interesting one because we've gone through this pain. And don't worry, I'm over here for a reason. There's an empty space here, you're going to find out in a second, because I'm very dedicated to this topic, and it's interesting because all the arguments I'm seeing on Twitter about, oh, the price of Tesla went up by $10,000, nobody lost their mind, but everybody's losing their mind over a charger. And I think it's an interesting story because we kind of have the same thing with the phones. And some people are like, oh, well, you can afford a $50,000 car. You can buy a $200 accessory, which of course is always out of stock, just so you know. But I don't know. I'm very dedicated to this. So much so, I went out and I married a Tesla expert who's going to join me in my video today. Please, have a seat.
Hello, everyone.
Anyway, so this is my Tesla expert that I married. Actually, I married her almost 10 years ago, but she happened to buy a Tesla, and she talks about it all the time, so I thought it would be great to include her in this conversation.
So happy to be here, everyone. Not really. This is a terrible, terrible thing to be talking about.
Anyway, so welcome to the Tech Odyssey studio, and if you don't know, this is Sarah J. Awesome. She makes videos about Teslas. She does a pretty good job, and also if I'd like to get your autograph after the video's over. Okay. None of this seizure winking. Okay, so this doesn't impact me a lot because we actually have one of the chargers. It came with her car. I don't need it for my cars because I believe in using gas-powered cars. But she likes the battery-powered cars. Is this a big deal, or are people just losing their minds over it?
It's a big deal, and everyone's losing their mind about it. As soon as I woke up this morning, I got on Twitter, and everybody was going completely insane. And I'm like, what? Is this, like, for real? Apparently, they are not including the mobile charging connector anymore. And that is a huge deal. Mine came with it, but it came with the 110 adapter or a 120 adapter. And then you had to buy whatever other adapter you wanted. Like for me, I got the 1450, which is for the 240 volt, basically for the dryer outlet. And so I had to purchase that separately. And that was only like, I think $15 or something like that. So the mobile charging cable that came with it came with like the 110 adapter. That was it, which is basically not enough for anybody. But the whole charging cable itself was $375 and it came with that. But now, and I charge with that every single day. That is what I charge with. I did not get the setup at home. That's another $500 where it's like the fancy wall connector that has the Tesla symbol and has its own charging cable that you plug right into the car from the wall. I didn't do all that. It's an extra $500 and I didn't feel like it was necessary. So I just plugged my mobile charging cable directly into basically our dryer outlet, but we did extend the dryer outlet to the outside of the garage because we have a gas dryer now. But this is freaking ridiculous because...
Hey, hold on. This is a family channel.
I'm so... It's ridiculous because how are you going to sell something like this when nobody has this charging cable laying around? They've already way marked up the price of Teslas, like to the point where if I were to go buy one now, like I couldn't get a car loan to cover the same car that I have now.
So how much? So when we got the Model 3, and this is a separate story, we got her car, and it was what, about $39,000, $38,000?
It was $37,990, and then after shipping from California and all that stuff and the fees, it was $39,990, and then after tax, title, and license for Texas, it came out to about $40,000, and that was for the standard range plus. And now it's gone up, I think $9,000, but I'm not sure exactly. I keep wincing every time I look at it and then just pushing it out of my brain because it's just ridiculous. And I mean, we expect a little bit of inflation on things, but to take away this mobile connector, I mean, you still need it for if you go on any kind of road trip or anything like that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. you're already charging so much money for this vehicle, and now you have no way to charge it unless you buy this. And these things have been back ordered forever. Like you've heard, there was a long time that you couldn't get the connectors anywhere. So now they're telling you, I heard, I have not verified, but that now it's a mobile connector charging kit. So
it's supposed to have more adapters with it, but it's
it's 400 now instead of 375. And apparently, Tesla...
Well, that's the level 1. The one that we have, the level 2, they lowered it from 275 to 200. So Elon tweeted about that today. And just for some insightful information here, when you buy a Tesla, at least up until today, it came with the cable you needed to charge it with, and that's the big deal here. It's not just a portable or mobile connector. It's the one that you use at home to charge. So you can plug it into your regular outlet, or you can get a connector, or you can get a different cable, and you can plug it into 220 so you can get a real charging speed. So right now ours charges at what, like 18
my car can charge from 0 to 100% in 8 hours.
Yeah, so it'll charge the whole car in about 8 hours. If you use it with the 110, you only get about 3 to 4 miles per hour.
It takes days to charge with the 110. It's like ridiculous.
But it's universal cable. So that's the thing. It's universal. You just put in a different adapter so you can plug it into 110 or 220. So now when you get your car, you have no way of charging it unless you basically install the Tesla Powerwall, which is about $500.
Yeah.
And that's not including the installation. That's just to actually buy this Powerwall.
The installation is like upwards of $1,000 for an electrician to do it.
So you can go to a supercharger, and they have the cables there already, but superchargers are few and far between. I mean, they're getting better. They're mostly out on the interstate freeways. It's not like you can just go to McDonald's and charge this sucker somewhere. So you have to buy the cable, which in a perfect world, that would be great, except for they're always back ordered. I went and looked right now. You can't even order one. So the idea of this is basically, okay, well, I guess you can now buy a power charger, or you have no solution to charge your car. And even power chargers are back ordered sometimes. Like sometimes you have no option. If the power charger is back ordered and the cable is back ordered, you have no way of charging your car at the time you get your car unless you go to a supercharger.
Yeah. Or unless you really pre-ordered your wall connector and already had that installed, or you pre-ordered your mobile connector, when they were in stock, and it just been like waiting and waiting and waiting. I mean, like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not like you can just go out and buy a Tesla on the street. I think the wait times they're pretty insane right now.
Yeah, it's like 9 months or more.
So I guess you can pre-plan and order the charger and try and find one for the 8 months before your car actually shows up. But I wanted to talk about this today and get some insight from my Tesla expert that I married here, because I get that people are upset about this, because we were upset with our phones when we couldn't charge them with the power bricks included anymore. You feel like if you're paying that much money, they should include it, especially when it's necessary, because a phone is nothing if you can't charge it. And granted, yes, I probably have 6 5-watt Apple chargers laying around the house because I have 6 kids that use iPhones. But
but we're still fighting over the phone chargers. Like I never got a phone charger with my new iPhone that I use. So whenever we actually go places, then I can't use my wireless charger. I have to actually take the wall connector and the charger, and I can't ever find one. And my last Tesla trip that I went on, I had to use like an old Samsung like wall connector and some other cable that was like off-brand. It was taking freaking forever to charge my phone because my stupid iPhone didn't come with the charger in the first place. And all the other ones we have, the kids have stolen all of them. So
yeah. So more of the story is, if you have kids, don't let them ever use your charger.
Yeah.
But it's a very frustrating situation, and I understand the argument. If you're going to buy a $50,000 car, you should be able to afford a $200 charger. But it's like, it's just the principle. Really, it is principle, but there is a practicality to this because it's really hard to get these things. So I doubt they're just going to start ramping up production to make them more widely available. But even if they do, I kind of feel like if you're buying a car that you charge using electricity, they should kind of give you the thing you need to charge the car.
Or make them more readily available if they're going to do this. And make it more clear on the website, like, it no longer comes with it. Someone else had posted a picture from the Tesla website today where they put, instead of saying not included, they just put the price next to the margin. Instead of saying not included, they just put the price next to the mobile charging connector. So that can be confusing to someone that's just purchasing a car. We've all gotten the mobile charging connector. It's an 18-foot cable. and then you just put in little different adapters for whatever outlet you have. And now it doesn't come with that. And so what if they end up getting their car and then they're like, well, crap, I'm freaking screwed. I already had a subscriber tell me today, we have spent all the money that we had on getting the outlet done like I did, basically like a dryer outlet, and they were going to get the mobile charging connector. And then they found out their car's not going to come with it. And they're like, we've literally spent all the money that we have already on all this. We've already spent over $1,000 on getting the outlet installed. And now we're either going to have to pay another few $100s to get the mobile charging connector, or we're going to have to pay another $500 and get the wall connector, but we've already had the outlet installed. So like we should have just got the mobile wall connector in the first place maybe, and included that in the price of installation of the previous outlet. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. Like I understand that a lot of places are cutting back, and they're cutting back on like packaging, and they're cutting back on extra crap and accessories that people don't need. I mean, there is a lot of waste going on in the world, but I don't really feel like this is one of those things, especially when it's so expensive and it's absolutely necessary and you need it whether you charge at home or not. Because like I said, if you go on a road trip or something, you're going to want to have that connector with you. So then you're going to be stuck with having a $500 wall connector at home, plus electrical installation, plus on top of that, you need the mobile charging cable. And that's
yeah, because you never know where there's a power. You never know when there's a supercharger around. So if you were to go on a trip somewhere and you get stranded, the only opportunity you have to charge, short of having your car towed, is to find an outlet to plug it into at a wall. Which, granted, if it were a normal 110, you'd be sitting there for a long time. But at least it's an option. At least that would be an option. But now you have to buy this charger cable separately. So if they say the solution is buy the power wall, okay, great. But if you're traveling, absent the availability of a supercharger, you have zero way to actually charge your car.
Yeah, so if you're going to go camping or go to an RV park or something like that, you still need the mobile charging cable to connect it there. Or if you want to go rent a cabin or something like that, you're not going to be freaking leaving the cabin to go supercharge your car however many miles away, if there even is a supercharger available in that area, and then drive the car all the way back to that. Like, it's ridiculous. You have to have the mobile charging cable, in my opinion, unless you basically never go on road trips or vacation. I mean...
So you would say, in your opinion, that this is not something that's being overblown by people who care about it?
No, it's freaking ridiculous.
Okay, again, Family Channel.
I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. And then supercharging isn't really that great for your car either. It's healthier to use the mobile charging cable and charge a little bit slower rather than using this high voltage direct current into your car all the time. Especially if you're in cold or hot weather that are like extreme temperatures, that's really not good for the battery. So, and then that just is going to cause more battery degradation if you decide, oh, well, I just never got the charging cable, so I just supercharge more now. Or I ended up having to go to the supercharger more because I don't have this cable because it's backordered or whatever. Like, it just causes a serious problem, and I think it's ridiculous.
And costs a lot more money. So I think the final verdict here is
no bueno at all. I think everyone has a huge right to get really upset over this issue, especially when they just jack the prices up so much. Why not?
Yeah, they raised the prices up a lot.
Just include the price of the charging cable with this huge markup of the vehicle itself. But, they did the same thing with all these phones. The phones are more expensive and still no charging cable. Like, we can't just keep living off of our old charging cables forever. How are you going to sell something?
Well, it's also one thing, too, when you have a phone.
Usable?
When you have a phone, you probably do have a charger laying around somewhere. But nobody has magically laying, like, these Tesla charging cables just sitting out in the garage.
Yeah, but these phones, when they're newer, they can often charge faster with these lightning cables and stuff like that. So eventually you need an upgraded cable. You can't just live off the same cable forever.
This is very true. Okay, well, I think that pretty much settles it then. We both think that this is kind of, well, it's not cool. So, I don't know. Maybe enough people get mad about it. I doubt it's going to come back for free with the car. Even if they just made sure they included it with the car and charged that and built it into the price, that would be more fair, because some people are going to order it and then be like, how do I charge it? And then they're going to need like a way to charge it. So that's all I've got for this video. Thank you very much, Tesla expert, for showing up on my video today. Also for marrying me, because you're pretty hot. But that's all I've got. Also, if you feel like seeing more of her, you can go check out her channel, Sarah J. Awesome, on the YouTubes. Also, same handle name on Twitter, also Sarah J. Awesome. now she's going to go back into the kitchen and go make some sandwiches while we finish talking about this conversation. Okay.
He's kidding. He already paid for dinner.
I did pay for dinner. And she doesn't make good sandwiches.
He doesn't like sandwiches, so.
No, I don't. So that's all I've got. Thank you very much. And thank you again for showing up for this video today.
Thanks for having me.
As always, if you have any questions or comments, please go down in the comment section. I'll get back with you, or I'll make her reply because it's Tesla related. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. She probably won't be in a lot more of them, but who knows? Maybe I'll take a poll. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching.
And I'll see you next time.
Whatever, bye.